Hey there, what's happening? This is Eric and
Victoria.
And we're coming at you live from our home office in beautiful Marietta, Georgia.
That's right.
And so we are here for Max Out Monday. We are here every Monday night at 9:30 p.m. for Max Out Monday, and every Wednesday night at 9:30 for Wealthy Wise Wednesday.
That's right.
And our passion is to help network marketers, entrepreneurs take their business online profitably.
Online.
That's what we're all about. And so for tonight's topic, we're going to deal with an issue that can be kind of emotional for network marketers, because, you know, when you ask network marketers, especially newbies, what's the most difficult question someone can ask? And it's almost always this: how much money are you making, right?
That stings a lot of new people. That stings a lot of new people.
You want me to join your business.
It puts them on the defense, and it makes them feel, it can make you feel as a new person very small and insignificant. Mm-hmm. And you also feel like you have to defend yourself, or you feel like it makes you feel inadequate.
It makes you feel inadequate.
It makes you feel inadequate.
Unless you're making a boatload of money, then you love those type of questions. But what if you're new? You haven't had a chance.
You got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. You
right.
haven't really had a chance to make all of that money. So then what do you do? What do you say? And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight briefly. And again, it's one of those questions. And sometimes people, when they ask questions like that, it's because they feel uncomfortable themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe they feel like, hey, you put me into an uncomfortable position because now I have to make a decision about your business. So I'm going to turn the tables on you and put you in an uncomfortable position by asking you, how much money are you making?
But do not feel insecure when they ask you that question.
And in fact, maybe it's your friend. Maybe it's your friend you invited to find out about your business, and maybe they know you haven't made any money yet, right? And so maybe they're just trying to get you off balance. They're trying to get an edge. So how much money are you making, Jack? Right? They know you ain't making jack, but they still want to ask you that question. And so one of the things you need to do, first of all, is to address the underlying motivation for them asking a question like that. And usually the underlying reason that someone would ask a question like that is that they feel insecure about themselves. Because after all, if they were a superstar, they wouldn't need to ask how much money you're making. They wouldn't care about it, because they figure whatever business I get in, if it's a legitimate business, I'm going to make money, right? Think about it.
That's right.
Think about it. And so really, it's really highlighting their own insecurity. And what it means, and what they're spelling out is, you know what, I've tried a lot of things and I've never been successful, and I want to believe that your business can be successful for me, but I just don't believe that I can do it, right?
It has more to do with how they feel about themselves than you. But on the other end, just because you feel like you don't make a lot of money yet, that, it's interesting. People always feel that they want to maybe find someone who's making a lot of money. But that person that's making a ton doesn't really have time and can't really relate to where you are when you come in new in the business.
Absolutely.
They can't.
And, if you really think about it, it's kind of an irrelevant question. It's a nonsense type of question, because how much money you're making has absolutely nothing to do with how much money they're potentially could make.
Unless you're sharing the same bank account.
Right. And speaking of that, it's kind of a rude question, right? That's almost like asking a fellow employee, how much money are you making? You're right? That's kind of a no-no to talk about that at work,
I had someone ask me that once. Victoria, what was your commission check? Remember someone asked me that? What is your commission check?
It's rude.
And it caught me off guard. It took my breath away. I'm like,
That's kind of rude.
It was a great commission check, but still, it was nobody's business.
It's nobody's business.
I mean, you're going to ask somebody what their commission check is. That was kind of, it kind of threw me for a loop.
It's kind of like one of those questions like, well, what's your social security number? Well, that's your private business. But people feel sometimes, most of the time, they don't ask that question. I mean, we
didn't experience that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I maybe.
But it was our posture. We never came across like
because
newbies.
of your posture. Yeah.
It's posture. It's how you come up.
Yes.
We very seldom ever came. I mean, I was thinking about the other day. Hardly anybody ever asked us that question.
Yeah. And a lot has to do with how you set things up initially.
Yeah.
And your posture all the way through. I mean, in other words, if you do things correctly, you're probably not even going to get that question. But that's another discussion. But what if you get the question? How do you address that? And so that's the thing.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you really need to get down to the root of the problem, because the question was raised, and that means there's a root cause of the problem that has to be addressed.
They're insecure and they want to know, bottom line, is there any money to be made in this thing?
So like a
That's
doctor,
what they want to know.
Like a doctor, you need to analyze the problem.
Yeah.
And you need to get in there and do some quick surgery. So see, if you can address that question correctly, you might be able to get a new business partner. Because when they see how smoothly you're able to address it, they might feel a lot more comfortable, because people purchase not because of the analysis
or the company.
You know, how much money you're making. That's an analysis type of course. That's not why they're going to buy.
No.
They're going to buy based on the know, like, and trust factor.
Amen.
See, know, like, and trust factor. So if they ask you that question and you get nervous, or your response is nervous, what do you think that's going to do to your know, like, and trust factor?
Confidence goes way down.
They're going to feel like, well, this person is obviously hiding something from me. They don't feel secure in themselves, right? And they don't feel secure about their business. So because they're not addressing this question head on and in a strong way.
That's right.
So the thing is, you want to be prepared. Whether or not somebody's going to ask you that question or not, you want to be ready with a type of response that can be authoritative, and at the same time, maybe coach them a little bit. You know, maybe coach them a little bit in the process, and maybe they can understand, well, maybe this is a type of person that I might want to work with, right? So we're understanding, first of all, where that question's coming from.
Yep,
It's
the origins.
The origin is the fact that they have an insecurity. They don't believe that they can make a business work for them. So you know that's something that you're going to need to address. You're going to need to address that in order to bring them on as a business partner. That's something that you're going to need to address. On the other hand, you need to be very secure in yourself, and secure that, number one, you don't need to reveal how much money you're making in a business.
You don't owe anybody that.
Because you need to understand.
Never be intimidated.
You need to understand that if you told them how much you were making, that might actually do them a disservice.
It might freak them out and scare them off.
See, that might do, and maybe you need to explain that to them. Well, you know, actually, if I were to tell you how much money I'm making in the business, that might actually do you a disservice. Because number one,
that's right.
If this is
a very good point.
Because one of the things I'm doing in bringing you into this business is that I'm coaching you. I'm coaching you on what you need to do. And so it's planting seeds, because you, as you join my business, you're going to be bringing people into the business, right? So if you join my business as a beginner, you're not going to have any money, because realistically, it takes time to make money in this business. So if you come in as a beginner and all you have to work with is, well, I made $50,000 my first month, right? Is that going to help you?
It's not going to do you a world of good.
So if I tell you how much money I'm making in this business, is that going to help you? You know, because I've been in this business for a while. I've learned a lot of the tricks in the trade. I've got a lot of training. So if I tell you how much I've made in this business, it's not going to help you to bring anybody in the business, would it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, that's one way to approach it. Another way, and a lot depends on your personality. You know, what do you feel comfortable with? Now, another way to approach it is to have a shock approach. Well, they ask you how much money are you making. You can laugh at them and say, well, that depends. Are you from the IRS? You know, get thrown off a little bit. Make them laugh.
Are you Uncle Sam?
Are you from the IRS? You know? And then when you kind of break that tension there, and then you say, hey, let's talk about you. How much money would you like to make? Right? Because that's what's really important.
It's not
here.
about us, it's about you.
It's about you, right?
It's about you.
Because again, it's really an irrelevant question. It has absolutely nothing to do with how well you're going to do in a business. So if I just give you a figure, what's that going to do for you? Or you can say, hey, for example, in my case, for an example, I signed up for a money-making system based on what the person told me. He told me he made $6 million, right, in a year. And I took and I bought that system because of what he told me. Guess how much money I made? 0, right? How much he made had absolutely nothing to do with my ability to earn income, because guess what? He had been in network marketing for 20 years, right? So what good would it do me to compare what I could do based on what he had accomplished in a certain amount of time? Again, it is absolutely an irrelevant question, but you have to be confident, you have to be secure,
that's right,
and you have to be ready with an answer for those types of questions. Another way you could address it, they say, well, how much money did you make? You could say, hey, this is not a job. It's not a job.
No, it's an entrepreneur.
There's no salary for this position. So what I tell you I make, that's not a salary, right? What you make in this job is dependent on the amount of effort you're willing to learn the business, how coachable you are, how willing you are to work the business.
And how hungry you are.
And how hungry you are, right?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And I don't know how hungry you are. I don't know how coachable you are at this point. And actually that question will give me a question mark about how coachable you are.
Yeah.
But the point is you have to be able to respond with a point of view that kind of shakes them out of that mentality.
That's right.
And makes them think it really is insignificant. And
totally.
the more you express that it's insignificant, the more they're going to receive that it is absolutely insignificant. But you could tell them also, you know what? I don't want to disempower you. I want to empower you. If I tell you how much I'm making, that's going to disempower you, right? Because you know that you don't have the tools that I've been able to gain by getting the type of coaching that I'm getting. So you're starting from point 0, and I'm starting from wherever I started from. So it really, really doesn't make any difference, does it?
Doesn't make a hill of beans.
So another response, they say, well, how much money have you made in this business? I say, hey, I don't know yet because I'm still earning income.
And the year's not up.
His year's not up. So let's talk about you. How much money, again, do you want to make? So again, it's just all a matter of quickly assessing what the problem is, but then you've got to quickly get into what is it that they want to accomplish. The other side of that is you need to address their fear.
Yeah.
And you might even hit them right between the eyes and say, quite frankly, I understand why you asked that question. Because usually the 1% of the people that ask that question because they really don't feel secure.
And they may not have ever made any money before.
They don't feel secure about this type of business. So let me tell you about the type of support we're going to give you so that you can be successful.
That's right.
And you can earn money.
This time around.
Finally. So then I'm going to proceed to talk about the level of support and the coaching that they're going to get, the level of training that they're going to get, because that is the bottom line.
It is.
How much one particular individual makes in the business has nothing to do with what you could make in the business. It's all about the type of level of support, the level of customer service that you get from the organization, the level of support you get from the upline in the organization. It's all of those factors together that will determine how much somebody will make. And then it's also the individual efforts that they make. All of those things factor in to the bottom line. And so with that, that's the bottom line for us. Hope you're having a great Monday evening.
That's right.
If not, let's make it a great one. Join us here Wednesday night for Wealthy Wise Wednesday.
Wednesday.
All right. Have a great evening.